would like to take this opportunity to give a thanks to Parker for tagging me on Twitter, tagging me about CBR. They've come out with a new article. A new article titled, "The Rising of the Shield Hero is absurdly popular for no good reason." And you know that's going to be a good one with the title. Here's what they say for the caption. "Despite a self-insert protagonist who defies all logic and seemingly condones slavery, Shield Hero's popularity is only rising." Funniest thing about referring to Naofumi as a self-insert character is that later on in this article, as you can probably expect, they complain about the false accusations leveled at Naofumi. So are they also implying that a lot of men are falsely accused of things by women? Why are they saying Naofumi is a self-insert? I just thought that was a bit odd and something I wanted to point out right at the start. Now let's continue. They go on to say, "That recipe was cooked to perfection with the rising of the Shield Hero, with an overpowered protagonist who's seemingly never wrong. Topped with socially contentious undertones, the series has gotten its fair share of well-deserved flack. Despite this, it's continued to find a fan base as evidenced by its consistently high rankings on sites like Crunchyroll. Here's a look at how one of today's worst anime has become one of its most popular." I want to talk about this area specifically where they say the series has gotten its fair share of well-deserved flack, because I don't really think, first of all, I don't think the flack is well-deserved. I've read a lot of the complaints people have with Shield Hero, and none of them seem to have much merit. Every single one of them, in my opinion, have relied on misrepresenting the show, misrepresenting what happened to Naofumi and what Malty was doing to him and this sort of thing. So I don't think it's well-deserved flack. Also, I would go and say that its fair share is a reach. I mean, there's not a lot of outlets that have criticized Shield Hero. There's been a few random WordPress blogs that hated on it. I think maybe there was a Kotaku article, like one. It's really not been a lot, though. Most people enjoyed the show. As the author here even admits, it ranks high on sites like Crunchyroll. They then go on to say that it's one of the most popular shows, but still claim that it's one of today's worst anime. And yes, bad anime can also be popular, sure, but you have to make a case for why the anime is bad, and so far this person hasn't done that. Let's see if they do. CBR then goes into a segment titled, "What is the Rising of the Shield Hero?" Well, I think we can skip that segment. We all know what it's about. Hopefully, if you don't and you're tuning in, well, thanks for being interested in this video anyways, and thanks for hitting the thumbs up button. I'm sure you've done that, right? Here's where it gets good. As I mentioned at the start of this video, they bring up the whole false accusation thing, which again is odd to me when they also claim that Naofumi's a self-insert. Anyways, here's what they say in this segment. Fittingly, the show's own reputation and critical reception are lower than dirt. We're going to stop right there, though, because if you notice, they actually have reputation and critical reception as a hyperlink. So they're supposed to, back their point up with that hyperlink. They're claiming that the reputation and critical reception, of the show are lower than dirt. Well, when you click that hyperlink, it just takes you to another CBR article about that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and I don't see anything there that backs that point up. So I think this is very disingenuous reporting by CBR, in my opinion. Now, I wanted to point that out. Let's continue on, though. They say, and for good reason, the story kicking off with the hero being falsely accused was especially controversial, with many seeing it as being at odds with the zeitgeist of the Me Too movement, if not wholly opposing it, which is absolutely not true. The Me Too movement is not perfect, and anyone who actually genuinely supports the Me Too movement, I think, would understand that, no, it's not a perfect thing. It has issues, and if you want it to move forward efficiently, then you have to acknowledge the flaws of the movement itself. Unfortunately, people like the author here fail to do that, and that's in large part why that movement has fallen apart. I think a better way of looking at it is that the Shield Hero's premise of the false accusation is not anti-Me Too. As a matter of fact, it should be looked at as a way of making Me Too more accurate and better, because yeah, false accusations are indeed a thing. They then go on to say this led to many Western fans in particular criticizing the series for its casual misogyny. No, there's nothing misogynistic about a show talking about a false accusation. Again, I'm going to flip the logic on the author here. I think it's misogynistic of the author to think that women are flawless and can do no wrong and would never lie about something. That to me is misogynistic. Women are human. They have flaws just like anyone else. They then just say something completely bizarre and, in my opinion, disingenuous to the show. They write, regardless though, this plot point is played for laughs. Many felt that the confines of a fantasy isekai might not be the best place to handle such a serious topic, and I'm obviously referring to the part where they say that this plot point is played for laughs. I mean, I don't feel that way at all. I think it was a pretty serious plot point to the show, and it sparked Naofumi's character development, at first regressing him, and eventually he began to open himself up and trust people once again. I mean, you know, we could go into a whole deep dive talking about that, but that's a little off the scope of this video, so let's continue. They then go into a segment about the slavery in Shield Hero, and I feel like I'm literally reading a copy-paste of other articles that have complained about this. I honestly do feel like this is almost plagiarism. I'm not accusing them of plagiarism here. It just seems like it's off the same exact script. It's boring to me. I'm not even going to bother you with that segment. Let's just skip it. CBR ends the article by talking about why the Shield Hero is popular. They write, the controversial elements might actually be a boon for the show's popularity. Some viewers may seek out Shield Hero because of its taboo, almost risque reputation, while others might even sympathize with the protagonist. This would justify the show's label as an incel fantasy. As I mentioned in the slavery segment, it felt like they were just parroting other articles who have had a similar take. And now this is even more evident to me, in my opinion, where they talk about the show being labeled an incel fantasy. That's directly from other people who have coveraged the show hating on it. So this person probably read other outlets' coverage on this from months ago. Maybe it was a slow day for them. They had nothing to write about today and decided to make this hit piece against Shield Hero. Because you gotta hit your quota of stirring up outrage in the anime community, right? There's so much problematic stuff with anime. It's insane. Oh my gosh, get over yourself. This sounds so salty at the end of the article, too. Nevertheless, the show's popularity, much like its eponymous hero, continues to rise, and it certainly won't be the last generic isekai to get more notoriety than it deserves. Well, that's it for the article. That was interesting. I can't believe people are still hating on this anime so much. Shield Hero living rent-free forever, apparently. Again, though, I do think it's a little bit of a slow day at CBR. I think this weirdo had to hit his quota, and that's what you get. That's what you get. An article that seems almost like a copy pasta of other people's salt towards Shield Hero. With that, cheers.